Okay, so in amongst all of this busyness, finishing Plants of New Guinea and publishing the paper on the New Species of Victoria, I was approached by the Crowwood Press to write a book on botanical sketchbooks. And even though I was really busy at the time, I thought, how can I not? It's the topic that I absolutely love. I love working my sketchbook, but I also really enjoy teaching it. So I said, yes, of course, I'd love to do it. Um, I define a sketchbook, botanical sketchbook here. I actually wrote this after the book. I think sometimes um, your thoughts become clearer and clearer after you've done something. But I've summarized it as this on my website, that a botanical sketchbook, it's an artist, botanical artist and illustrator's essential workbook. It's where you can capture and record plants from life, obviously sometimes photos as well, to investigate the form, structures, and colors and practice and hone your artistic skills. And the content and style of your pages is going to be determined by many things, and mainly that's all down to the purpose. So in the book, I wanted to show um, all the things that I use and also as many different other types of methods that I could think of. So I'm going to just whiz through what's in a botanical sketchbook without sort of showing you every page, but a lot of these illustrations are in the book. So I think the primary thing you'll find in your botanical sketchbooks is drawing. Drawing is key. I love drawing. Um, I love teaching drawing. I just think drawing is the most essential thing you can do. And it's good drawing is the basis of all good botanical art. Um, most of my drawings are in pencil. Sometimes they're just line drawings. Sometimes they're line drawings with a bit of color. And more recently, I've been freehand sketching in pen and ink as well. And you can see from this picture on the top right, I love to have my plant specimen set up and my sketchbook alongside it and draw straight from the specimen. Um, like I mentioned with the scientific sketchbook pages earlier, it also contains very particular types of drawings for scientific illustration. So they're preparatory drawings for finished pieces of artwork in this case, and they show the process of investigating the plant that you're going to draw. And later on, they're traced off onto a piece of paper so that you can complete them in pen and ink. There's my sketchbook under the microscope there. I also like to do colour studies for my work. Um, I know a lot of experienced botanical artists go straight into the colour. I always like to have a little bit of a figuring out time, even if it's a few dabs of colour, especially if I'm drawing something new for the first time. I think as a jobbing illustrator, you often have to paint and draw things that you're not used to drawing. So you might want to figure out the colours somewhere before you go into the main piece. This is an older sketchbook page of mine from 2009 when I was drawing the tiny Nymphaea thamara, the smallest water lily in the world. And I couldn't take the plant away from the greenhouse. It was sitting in water. So I had to sit there on the bench drawing it. And once I'd done my drawing, I started rubbing out bits and pieces of the pencil and then uh, replacing them with watercolor. And then I thought, yeah, I'm confident enough to start now. So I created a composition actually with a different drawing, except you can see this one here in the back. That made it onto the final piece. And actually in this habit drawing, which is on a different piece of paper, I've substituted, I've put this flower on it. So I put a different flower on it. And these are my typical color study pages. Um, I think traditionally I haven't been the most confident person with color. So it just gives me a bit of breathing space, like I said, to figure out the colors. And it's quite nice. It takes away some of the fear of color mixing and using watercolor just to have a little sketchbook. I've got this A5 watercolor one where I literally put my subject down and then just throw paint at it and see what color's going to stick. And if you get them right, you make a note of them and then maybe put them on another study or go straight to your final piece. It doesn't matter. But I always say make a note of what colors you used because more often than not, you'll forget. Oh, that's a great color. How did I make that? And I say that to my students all the time as well. But it's playing. It really is playing and investigating. As well as drawing and color studies, it's a place for observations and notes. So it plants do different things at different times of the year. And if you're preparing for a longer study of something, you may need to observe it all throughout the seasons. And in your sketchbook page, you can put everything in one place. And it ends up working as a bit of a visual diary as well. So these examples are all in the book. This is one of several pages I did on an oak tree. These are some snowdrops that were growing in my garden and the jade vine, which will come up later. And finally, it's a portable studio. So the most challenging, but probably most rewarding type of work you can do in your botanical sketchbook is to draw, sketch, and do color work in the field. I always say no there's no such thing as a wasted drawing, and time spent in nature is never wasted. So it combines my two favorite things, being in nature and drawing. Oh yes, and the final type, which I'm going to mention here, is what I would call a curated sketchbook page. These are becoming very, very popular as people share sketchbooks on social media. I think it's quite amazing how much we see into people's process now. And I just wanted to play around with the idea of just drawing in a sketchbook for the hell of it. In this case, I wanted to create a snapshot of all the plants that I saw when I went back to Australia on a holiday recently. And these were drawings of a special collection of seeds and pods that a botanist sent me, and I'd kept them on my shelf for years, not knowing what to do with them. And in the end, I thought these will make a lovely double-page sketchbook spread. So, and then finally, and this is the part of my sketchbooks that I've been really enjoying lately, it's just a place to relax, to have fun, to hone your drawing school and experiment with the drawing skills and experiment with new techniques. So I have been experimenting a lot more with drawing freehand in pen and ink because it's such a lovely contrast to the very tight scientific work that I do.